Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to share a little video here on how to rig using the reaction manager, and then also some linking here using the controllers in the motion tab. So let's rock and roll here. So I've kind of got a setup already created here, and this will be good for demonstration because it's a little bit more complex. It's got multiple things going on here. It's not just a one and done. But anyway, so this right here is going to be the attribute holder. It's going to hold the attributes, essentially the different states of animation. So you'll see right here, I've created 4 custom attributes. So the main missile pod, which actually here, let me turn on my XREF, which you'll see what we're looking at here. So these are actually missile pods for the outside of a vehicle. It's pretty rad. Kind of cool, kind of like Iron Man-ish, which is dope. So what we're going to do then is you'll see, I kind of see that setup, but anyway, so now you'll see the main missile pod open up, and then so we got different states here, so that would open up, top missile would pop out, and there's actually sorry, one second. We'll turn on the missiles as well. That's kind of cool, just so you can see what's going on. We're going to turn on our missiles layer. And you can see the missiles are ready to rock there, and they're also following the animation. Which I'll show you how to link those as well, and link them properly, because with missiles you're obviously going to want to have them not be static. You're going to, the missiles are going to shoot, so you're going to want them to fire and essentially break the link that they're linked to, if you follow what I'm saying. Essentially, if you do that manually through just select and link, stuff gets broken and while you're animating, and it gets nasty. And I just found out that's not the proper way to do it. So came across some information out here on the web, and I thought I would pay it forward and share this stuff, get more of it out there. But anyway, yeah, so rad. We'll go back to the attribute holder here, and so now you can see what's going on here. That again, once again, that pops up. This top missile pops through, and when the missile releases, I have this top missile rail, so it would kind of eject, and the missile would, get pushed out and fire. Kind of cool. And then there's also a side missile here container, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, that pops out, and this is all really cool. It's all rigged properly for easy animation, and I just figured this out today with the help of some videos, and I was kind of doing it the wrong way at first, and was just wondering why I couldn't get things to move properly on the local axis. And instead of using sliders and manipulators, we're going to use the reaction manager and attribute holders, and I think that is such an excellent way to do things. It's cleaner. It just gives you a lot more control. You don't have a whole bunch of sliders doing one thing. You can really kind of just contain it in one object. It's really cool. So anyway, alright, let's get set up and just doing this and show you how to do this quick. Not wasting your time. Let's just get to business, right? And alright, so real quick, let me hide the missiles. We don't need to see that right now. And we're actually gonna hide. Sorry, real quick. We're gonna hide that layer, and the one we're gonna work on. Well, that didn't know good. Despise that. Sorry. One second. There we go. No love yet? Alright, no love yet? Come on, Max. Give me some love. I want you off. I want you off the page. There we go. I want you off. Listen to me. Anyway, real quick, sorry, I'm going to find the right one here. I think it was, put it right on. There we go. Nope. That's not what we want either. It is. There we go. This is the guy we want right there. Okay, cool. So we're going to unhide everything else, and for right now, we don't need to see the shell. We'll need that just for the final when we start to set up our attributes when we're animating. But right now, so we're just going to set things up. So pretty cool stuff. So to begin this, we're going to first need to make some dummies. So let's go over here to the create menu, and we're going to go to helpers, and we're just going to start by creating Hold on a sec. Sorry, I'm on the wrong layer. Need this to be our active layer. Cool beans. All right, now we're going to create a dummy here, and just to get started, create one dummy. And the thing with using the reaction manager, the axis, especially if you're just doing position, the axes aren't so important. But I still kind of like to line up the local axis close enough, just to, I don't know, just to do it. You always want to do things right when you can. You might run into problems if you don't. So, all right, right now we're gonna need 3 dummies. Actually, I think, yeah, we're gonna need 4. So I'm just gonna kind of set that one in place, and I'm just gonna copy a couple on the side here, just to make it quick. So we're gonna rock and roll that. So we're gonna click this dummy here, give it a quick name. So what I'm gonna do is just steal this name here of this top piece, and I'm gonna select the dummy. I know I like to name things right, man. It just saves so much time. So dummy main. It's critical. It's critical. It speeds up your workflow when things are named right and you're not constantly searching for things. So anyway, all right, let's go rock and roll, and we're gonna kind of get this into generalish position here. Where's the local axis? And there we go. So we want, we're going to want the Z sticking up, and we're going to start there. So now let's just kind of, you don't have to get things perfectly squashed up, but I know I like to keep things clean as much as possible. It just makes things easier for me, and a little more straightforward when you're animating. So we're going to set that up there. We got it named, and next we're going to need. First off, let's just let's hide these helpers real quick, and we're going to grab all these pieces, except I'm just going to kind of grab what we need here. Hide just to kind of see what I'm grabbing. Make sure I'm not grabbing things I don't want to grab. So let's see. All right, that's cool. And we're just going to grab that front face there. We're going to grab these little thingamajigs. Little random wires and controls, whatever. We're just gonna hide it. I'm just hiding it so I can check to make sure I got the right stuff selected. Cool. All right, I'm gonna bring these helpers back up, and we're gonna start with a simple select and link. So we're gonna select this, and we're gonna link it to that dummy. So cool. Step 1, right? Not bad. So all right, now we're gonna hide this fella, and we're gonna hide this helper, and let's start with I'm just gonna have to break some of this up. You can kind of see like how to just do things on the fly as well. It's always good to troubleshoot, so having just a perfectly laid out tutorial. So yeah, let's rock another dummy here. So this one here, we're gonna do it for the side missile pod. So again, I'm gonna steal that name, and I'm just gonna get the dummy kind of lined up here. So I'm gonna try and be a little quicker here, so I'm not wasting your time. And make sure the local axis is sticking out where you want it to go. I mean, these aren't really going to matter so much. A lot of times, like I was saying earlier, with the reaction manager, you're going to, especially with just position, you're going to have the control you need just by setting up the animation, and it flows very well. You know, if you're doing rotation, then yeah, you want your axes pretty spot on. And you're going to use usually point helpers for that to establish the axis of your rotation. But anyways, all right, so we're setting up here. Let's name this fella, and this one we're going to call dummy side, and we're going to link. We're going to select all this stuff here. We're going to isolate it, and I'm going to deselect that. We're going to select and link. We're going to link to the dummy. Right on. And we're going to get back out of there. It's cool, so we can actually hide all this stuff. No longer needed. And let's go here. We've got a couple more dummies to set up yet. And it's cool. Like I could show you some other pods that I set up, and they're just kind of one and dones. One dummy, one attribute, one setup essentially. But it's cool to see something a little more complex, rather than just something very basic, so you guys can kind of, you know, just see how things are a little more detailed. It helps me out. I mean, sometimes you're searching out there and get a tutorial, and it's just kind of showing you the basics, but they don't dive deep enough if you're doing something a little more complex yourself, so you still gotta do a lot of asking around, whatever. So anyway, alright, we're gonna large this baby up, and actually gonna start with this one as well. I'm gonna make this guy smaller here. So these are gonna control, this one here, the small one's gonna control the rails, so when the missile fires off. I'm gonna just kind of get that, actually the Z, let's point it downward, 180, there we go. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to kind of, you know, when you animate it, you're going to move things in different positions, and it's going to know its path, so it'll work out good. So, alright, let's kind of get this in a generalish size here. Just makes things easier on the eye, so you know what you're looking at. You can even go up here a little bit. Cool. So what I got to do is I didn't break this down enough, so I actually want to break down these pieces here. And I'm just going to detach those. And these here, I actually want to detach these as well. I'm going to want to detach those. So real quick, I'm just going to name this stuff. Let's just steal a name here. Select that quick. We're going to copy. We're going to click this bad boy. We're going to attach it. And we're going to paste that name, and we're going to call it we're going to call this bottom rail, right? And then we'll put that. If you see the suffix, it's for texture baking and Substance Painter. It's good to have these nice suffixes, and yeah, just all about staying organized. Anyway, back to the stuff. Let's go here. So now I got all this stuff isolated, which is what I want. So I'm going to want this stuff to move on its own. So now I'm going to take this stuff and we're going to select and link it to this dummy here, which is great. So that stuff now is linked to this dummy. So if we move it, you can now see it moving the geometry. Awesome, right? So all right, now what about this though? Like if this is moving, it's currently independent. Actually, here I'll show you that real quick. So let's select this, deselect that. We're going to isolate quick, and yeah, we're going to want to connect all this stuff to. What you can do too is, I wasn't doing that right away. Is good to sometimes have your local pivots. Oh, it's all janking out. It's fine, but it's good to, before you start linking things together, to just establish your z-axes on all your objects alone. So, but it'll be fine in this case. It'll work just fine. So, all right, I've got all this stuff selected. We're going to go back to select and link one more time, and we're going to link it to the dummy. So, now when we move this dummy, it's all linked up, doing what we want it to do, right? So, all right, we're going to end our isolate mode, and now you can see, all right, we got a problem here. Now, this is linked to that, but this isn't linked to it. So if this comes up by itself, it's not taking the rails with it. All right, cool, right? Not so cool. We got to fix that. So we're going to select and link dummy to dummy. So it's really cool. This whole rig setup is just pretty much set up from dummies to dummies, and it's a very nice system. Now we grab this, and you can see it coming with it. But then, and this is the parent. Now we'll select the child, and the child is independent of the parent, so it can move away from it, and it's not controlling the parent dummy. So we're going to bust that back down. I didn't name this one yet, so sorry, we'll name this fella, and we're going to call this one dummy top. And I'm going to copy that, and we're going to go with this one here, and we're going to call it dummy rails. Dummy top rails. Cool. All right, now let's unhide. No, we don't want to show all the layers. So we're going to select no. Now we got all this stuff linked up pretty good. So now we got the geometry linked to these dummies. So now we got to link these dummies to the main dummy, because right now you can see that it's not attached. So you can see this stuff's not all attached together. So we gotta fix that stuff up. So we're gonna select dummy by dummy. We just need to do this 2 times. So we're gonna select and link. We're gonna link this dummy to the big guy, and we're gonna select the side dummy. Select the side dummy, and we're going to select and link here, and you can tell like it's highlighting, and when you get a successful link you see it turn white real quick saying hey, yo, good job. So now I'm going to select this bad boy, and now you can see it all moving together, which is what we want. That's cool. Alright, now it's time to set up our reactions. So we want to set up our attributes, and so we can animate this stuff all with the sliders like I was showing you from the very beginning. So to do that, we're going to quickly create a point. I mean, you could create any piece to be an attribute holder. You could create a sphere or anything you want really, and give it an attribute. I just like the point. It's just nice and clean. I can put it there. I want it to follow the local axis. A little bit big. We're going to shrink that baby down. And about right there. We're going to change the color. We're going to change the color to red. Christmas colors, right? Green and red. So, alright, now we're going to create some attributes. So we're going to select the point here. I'm just going to name it real quick. So we're going to call this actually, actually I'm going to do it right at the very beginning here. And I'm going to call it attribute. And there we go. So, all right, now we got to create our custom attributes. So what we're going to do is we first start out in the parameter editor. So we're going to go to the parameter editor from Animation, parameter editor, and select that up. Very straightforward what we got to do here. So what we're going to do is the parameter type. Right now you can see it's set to spinner. So this is what you'll be looking at. We don't want that. I mean, you can have that if you want, but I prefer the slider. I like the slider here, so now you can see what's going on. Just nice and intuitive. So now we're going to name this. So right now I'm going to name this one main missile animation. Cool. So now we're going to click, while it's all selected up, we're going to click add. So now when you look at the point, and it just added it right there. Really rad. So we got one done. And we need to create some more states here. So, while we got it open, we're going to create, let's see, now we're going to create one more for, we got slider already. All right, so now let's go top missile animation. Add that as well. And we're going to go top missile rail animation. I guess we don't need to put animation in there, but I guess I'm committed to it. So alright, we're going to add that and one more. So we're going to do the side. Alright, now we're going to go side missile animation and add it. So now we got back out of here. Oh, sorry. Totally I think I just muffed that up. Alright, sorry, go back to parameter editor. And I think I put it on, yeah, you can't put it on the dummy. So it's got to go on the point. So yeah, totally muffed that up. Sorry, I had the dummy selected. So yeah, let's go back to this. That's my fault. And we're going to do, what was that, side missile animation. And we got it set to spinner. We want slider. And we're going to add. And now you see it added there. Okay, cool. Yeah, wasn't paying attention there. Sorry, folks. So, all right, now we got our attributes here selected. That's cool. Now it's time for the reaction manager. So our next step is here. We're going to go animation. We're going to go reaction manager. And you can see I already have states set up from the previous stuff. So you can see there's already stuff going on and linked up. And we've got some good stuff going on there. So let's start from scratch here. So I got the point selected. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to go to Add Master. So we're going to Add Master. We're going to click the point. We're going to go Object, Point Helper. We're going to go to our custom attributes. So now you can see these 4 attributes that are over here on the side. And we're going to select, we're going to start with main missile animation. So cool, now we got this set up. So it's gonna, this is essentially going to control that dummy, or control this attribute right here. So that's what we started to set up. Now we need slaves. So we're going to slave this up, and we're going to select this dummy here. We're going to go transform, position, X position, and we got to do that every time here. So we're going to go transform, position, Y position, and we're going to do it one more time here. Transform, position, Z position. So we got all those set up. Really cool. Now what we need to do is, and we'll set up the attribute in a second here. Actually, no, let's just do it right now. So I'm going to go back to my XREF. I'm going to enable it. And while it's enabled, we can kind of see what we need to do here as far as getting this bad boy where we want it to go. So now to establish what this is going to do, we go to create mode. And now we're kind of just in like this auto, kind of like an auto keyframe mode. And we're going to pull, oops, sorry. We're going to select the dummy, not the point helper. It's not going to do anything. So now we're going to select this guy, and we're going to pull it out. And it's, again, it's not perfectly axied up. So you can kind of see it. If it was, you wouldn't have this gap here, but that's fine. We're just going to kind of position it where it needs to go. Get it very close here. So, you know, even I think on the Y there a little bit, just so things are lined up good. And that looks good. That looks good. All the gaps are closed. So you know when it pops up that it's gonna look like it should look. So cool. All right, now we got that set up. Now we're gonna go to create state. So now that's created. So we're gonna leave this. We're gonna leave the create mode, and now we can go back to the point helper. And now this is all set up. So, or wait, sorry, no. We're gonna undo that. I made a quick mistake. Forgot one little thing here. So we're going to actually step back here. Sorry about that. Made another goofer. Alright, but that's cool. Alright, so we're going to go back to this fellow. We're going to go back to create mode. And we're going to select the dummy. We're going to position that one more time. Just forgot one little step at the end. That was my fault. Sorry to waste your time. And we're going to, once again, get that lined up where we want it to go. Get it close. Looks pretty good. Alright, now what I forgot to do was you gotta go back to the point, and you have to move the slider over to know that it's this is the state where it's going to be with the slider all the way to the right. So now we go create state, and we get out of create mode. Now when we go down, you can see it now doing what we want it to do. So we got to do that 3 more times. Fun, right? Let's get to it. So we got that one established. Now let's go to our, and I guess we can have this up right here so we can kind of see what we're doing here. Now let's go to the next dummy here. So we're going to go to the point helper, which is all set up. So we need to go to, I'm sorry, no. We got to create a whole new state. Sorry. So it's still relatively new to me. I mean, I was just figuring out this today, and it's still a little learning curve. So we're going to add master. I'm going to pick the point. Do that one more time. Go to object point helper. We're going to go to custom attributes, top missile animation. So now what we got is to set up our slave states. Our slaves here. So we're going to add to this dummy here. Transform position, X position. Transform position, Y position. Transform position, Z position. Alright, cool. Let's set up. And now let's create our animation. So now we're going to go to create mode. Select the dummy. And we're going to move the dummy. Move it to where we want it to go. And how far do we want to go with it? It's cool. It's kind of not moving. exactly where we want it to move, but that's okay. Like I said, it's always good to spend a little more time and get all your local axes right, just to have things flow a little bit better. So, all right, anyway, it's all set up there. It's kind of looking good here. It's kind of how we want it. Maybe go a little bit in. It's not sticking out too crazy. And now we're going to go to the point. Again, don't forget this last stage here. That was exactly what I did the first time. So now we're going to go to create state, and we're going to get out of create mode. So now when I put this back down, now you can see that controlling that fella. And what's cool is this is all controlling together. So it's still all linked together. Really rad. And it's very clean too. It's a very clean way to animate. I'm a huge fan of it. So, all right, now, sorry, wasting time. All right, now let's do the rails real quick. And clean this up real quick. Actually, no, I'm not going to worry about that. This is just for example. All right, so now we're going to do the rails. So now we need to do the rails, and we're going to go to, we're going to add another master. So we're going to click the point, add master, then click point. And we're going to go to object point helper, custom attributes, top missile, rail animation. Now we got that. Now we need some slaves. So we're going to add 3 positions here. Transform position X, Y, and Z. Cool. Set up. Now we're going to go to the dummy. Select the dummy. We're going to create mode. We're going to pull this baby down. You know, you'll see where the missile is, and so that, like, you know, it detaches, the missile detaches and fires away. Pretty cool little animation. So, and get it about, I don't know, like right here. That's pretty fine. And let's select the point. Modify tab, and we're going to move this all the way to the right. With that done, we're going to create state, get out of create mode, and now we got our state there. Now you can see that it's moving independently. Cool. Could be, like I said, the axis could be a little more fine-tuned, but it's good for now. So, all right, that's all done. So we can actually just like bust those babies down, and we need to do one more. So with the point select, we're gonna go add master and select the point now, and our final custom attribute, side missile animation. Now we need the slave states. So we're gonna do again one more final time, position X position, position Y, and position Z. Cool. Now we're going to animate it quick. So we're going to go to create mode. We're going to pop this baby down. Move it where it needs to go. I see I'm missing a part on the dummy link. Let me just fix that real quick. This one piece isn't selected to a dummy. That's fine. Fix that quick. This guy right here. So we actually need to just link this bad boy to the dummy. And we're good. Cool. Alright, so it's always good to see how you fix things on the fly. So I'm making mistakes here, but hey, part of the troubleshoot process. So now that that's all linked together, I was still in create mode. I don't think that will affect it, but we're gonna unhide all, and let's move this guy now. Let's see. Now, okay, now we got that base with it, which is what we want. So all right, now we're gonna start animating this. I'm just gonna get it in the right position here. I'm gonna try and I don't think it's gonna be perfect, but it's going to be sellable. I don't want it sticking out all the way. Just want it kind of gapped in there. You can see some gaps probably. Just get it all the way out. And yeah, that's good enough. Cool. So One last time, don't forget it. Side missile animation. We're going to move that all the way to the right and create state. Out of create mode, and we're done. Check that out. Pretty cool. So now we got all this stuff going on. So it just goes like, you know, main missile goes out, top missile goes down, release the missile, side one comes out. Pretty rad, right? I think so. So we're just going to close all this stuff up for now, and I'm going to show you quickly how to link those missiles to the dummies here properly. That way, when you animate, you know, you're obviously going to shoot the missiles like you would a bullet, and you're going to want to break that link essentially and link it to the world, so you can animate it independently of the dummy, and the dummy doesn't follow with it, or things break within the rig, and it just gets nasty. So we can get out of the reaction manager. We don't need it anymore. And we can hide this XREF. And I'm going to unhide the missiles. Cool. With the missiles here. Actually, now all I need is the dummies. I don't need to see the geometry. So we're going to hide the geometry. And you can just see, I can pretty much hide. Hate that. Select mode, there we go. And we're just going to select these dummies here. We're going to isolate it. And now you can see the smaller ones inside representing the missiles. Looks a little complex, but I've done it before, so I'll just burn through this quick. So what we want here is we're going to want to link it through, instead of you just using like select and link and doing it that way, there's a better way to do it. So we're going to go to the motion tab here, and we have link constraint already set up, which is what we want. And we're going to link these ones here to the main dummy. So we're going to add link it to the dummy. We're going to right click off. We're going to add link to the big dummy. Take that off. And now we got this middle missile for that top piece that comes up. We're going to add link to that top missile dummy right there. Get off of that. And we got these two little fellows here. And you can't do them all together, so I can't like select. You know, you got to one by one a lot of things, so you can't group select. And as far as I know, it just doesn't seem to give you the love. Trying to save time, you know. So we're gonna add a link it to the dummy, and one more time. Gets repetitive, doesn't it? But that's how you burn it in the brain. And one more link, cool. Right click off of that, and we're good. So that's it. Now let's unhide the geometry. Actually, no, we're gonna want to get out of isolate, and we're going to unhide our geometry. Now, when we animate this, all the missiles come through, and I'll show you in a second why you want to do that. So now you got the attribute here selected. Now you can see with this stuff moving, all the missiles are moving with it, which is what we want. These other missiles are kind of distractive. Let me just hide them for 1 second. We're wrapping this up. Hide that stuff. Get out of here. And again, I'm going to go to the attribute holder, and you can just see that everything's following where it needs to follow. So you can see that that's even popping up. So those are linked up nice and well. But see, now this is the key here. Now when you want to fire that missile, you're not going to want to, I mean, you kind of can, you know, just it's the child, so it's not going to move with the main dummy. But there's just an easier way to do it, because your animation could break, and I've run into that problem in the past doing stuff like that, and this is just the way to do it. So what you would do is, now since we have this link here, you're going to say like we have it. I'm just going to save it real quick, and what we're going to do is select the attribute holder. We're going to just move this. Let's say we move it. We're going to just go auto key it there. Let's go 15 seconds. Bust this up. Should be auto keyed, so it should doing what we want it to do. All right, now we're going to want to break that link at 15. so that the missile can come up and just move and do what it needs to do. So in order to do that, then we're going to go back to this missile dummy. Missile dummy there, and we're going to go back to the motion tab, and we can use, you see the start time 0, so that's where we have the original link. And now what we're going to want to do is we're going to go to link to world, and it's at frame 15. So frame 15, essentially now it's going to unlink itself to that dummy that's controlling it. So if I were to, I believe, move this up and down more, that should break, but that's fine. I mean, it's just gonna animate cleaner, and so anyway, it essentially breaks this link off that main dummy, and now you could animate this, and it's not gonna break your rig at all. So like you fire off the missile, and it's all good. So and what you probably want to do, you might want to set up a rotation on that when you're firing. But so that's really about it, guys. I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I know there wasn't a whole lot of tutorials for something that in depth, but it was a huge help for me. I just kind of put the puzzle pieces together, and yeah, hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them by, and I'll try to answer them if I can. Otherwise, thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.